Welcome, coaches. This is Dub Maddox. In this module, we are going to introduce the Y-stick concept, also known as Seattle. Y-stick is a versatile quick game concept. Its core route structure is designed to attack zone coverage. However, it is also good against man with certain route tags and backside combination attachments. Many coaches pair stick with other route combinations and pick a side based on coverage and leverage advantage. R4 allows coaches and quarterbacks to connect both sides post-snap to ensure a full field attack. Let's begin. Y-stick can be run out of any formation or personnel grouping. We install stick out of a 3-by-1 formation with 11 personnel. The receivers to the field will align in a flood split. The flood split creates more outside space to the stick side. It also is the same split that we run Panther out of. This makes it hard on the defense to know which side we are attacking. The defense is playing solo coverage here. The Y-stick concept is built around the stick route. When the tight end is attached to the formation, he will push 3 big steps vertical and foot fire his feet. The foot fire at the top of the route would be left, right, left for 3 steps and turn out. In zone coverage, he will work out off the Mike linebacker, get his shoulders square, and settle into space. If the Mike linebacker blitzes, he will push to 5 yards and turn in for a hot throw. The H receiver runs a quickie route. This is used against zone coverage. A quickie is a 4-step out route that breaks to 6 yards. Against man coverage, the receiver will run a 2-step arrow route. The outside receiver on the stick concept will run a fade. His primary job is to clear out the cornerback and protect the outside route space for the H receiver. If the cornerback is in an outside cloud technique trapping the flat, the Z receiver must shave release and attack the defensive back's outside shoulder. If the cornerback is in a 2-read technique, reading the H receiver's release, then the Z receiver must use a shave release again and shave the inside shoulder to protect the cornerback from making a play on the quickie route. We want a collision here. This frames out the core components of the stick concept. Next, we will begin to install the progression. The rhythm side rule is used to read the stick concept. This rule states that any 2- or 3-man sequence of rhythm or rush routes can be used together as a single read to a side. This allows us to teach the quarterback how to process the movement of linebackers post-snap and gauge the best uncapped space within the stick concept. The quarterback must understand that this is a quick game concept, and therefore in shotgun, he must use a quick 3-step drop in order to bring the backside routes online with his progression. In a 3-by-1 formation, the default backside combination paired with Y-stick is called SCAT. SCAT stands for slant and flat. Against zone coverage, the slant will be elongated to 5 steps. We call a 5-step slant a glance route. Against press man coverage, the slant is run at 3 steps. This is more of a traditional slant route. The 3 quicks rule is used to bring the backside SCAT concept online. The 3 quicks rule states that any combination of 3 rhythm or rush routes can be used in a rhythm, read, and rush progression when the drop footwork of the quarterback is accelerated to sync with their breakpoints. This allows the quarterback to rhythm slide the stick concept on a quick 3-step drop. Then reset to the backside glance as a read route. Then rush the shoot route into the flat. The connection of the Y-stick concept to the field and the SCAT concept to the boundary creates a powerful 4-receiver stretch sub-hard deck. Furthermore, it provides sound routes to throw against man and zone pressure. Let's look at some game film for more understanding. Here is a clip of the Y Seattle concept. This is a 3-by-1 formation with an attached tight end. The quarterback must pick his best rhythm side route pre-snap based on the coverage, alignment, and personnel threat to the route spaces. The inside linebackers are mugging the line of scrimmage, so the quarterback chooses the stick route by the tight end. The quarterback takes a quick 3-step drop and throws the stick on rhythm. It is uncapped here. It is important to teach the tight end to attack the ball downhill instead of drifting to make the catch. Now we teach the tight ends against man coverage to attack downhill and stick your foot in the ground opposite of the closure angle of defender. Here is another clip of the Y-stick concept from the same game. We have now flexed the tight end 2 yards in a nasty split and have him get in a 2-point stance. This is done to create stress on the defense. Many times the defense will treat the tight end in this look as a trips formation and therefore play softer coverage to the field. You can see that the dog linebacker is now in an apexed position instead of walked up tight. When the tight end is detached from the line, he will turn inside on the stick route at 5 yards. The quarterback chooses the stick route over the quickie because the field corner is in a cloud look. The Mike linebacker is on plug pressure. The tight end is uncapped and does a better job of attacking the ball and not drifting. The key is sticking the foot in the ground after the catch and getting vertical. Here's another clip of the Y-stick concept from the same game. We are in the same 3-by-1 formation with the tight end in a nasty split. One of the visual cues you should be looking at is how the boundary corner and safety are playing the backside of the scat concept. The defense is starting to adjust to take away the Y-stick side of space. The boundary safety is inside the hash and the boundary corner is over and outside the X receiver. This is a pre-snapped, uncapped look for the glance route. The quarterback must remember that against zone coverage, the eyes of the defender are on him. Therefore, he must still rhythm the stick side to get the defense to flow to the field and keep the glance uncapped post-snap. The stick is uncapped on the rhythm phase. The quarterback was able to process this before he hit the last step of his drop. Accelerating through a progression can be accomplished when you know the patterns to look for. As the quarterback looks to the route side space of the glance, he sees the cornerback over and outside the X receiver. The glance breaks over and inside and is uncapped. The result is a touchdown. Using the glance route within the backside scat concept was an evolution. There were times when the extra 2 steps created more space for the single side X receiver. In this clip, the quarterback chooses the Y on the stick as his best route on the rhythm side first. On the first step of the drop, the quarterback sees the Mike linebacker pushing to the field side. His hip angle is in a full turn and therefore the stick route is uncapped. However, this also creates a big window for the X receiver on the backside. This is where personnel comes into play on the progression. The tight end is uncapped on the stick route. However, the X receiver is our best athlete. This is why the quarterback resets to the backside on the read phase. The problem is that the X receiver ran a 3-step slant and gets collisioned by the drop of the will linebacker. This is where we now teach the X receiver to run a 5-step glance against soft zone coverage. The extra steps would have allowed him to get over the linebacker and would have resulted in an explosive play. The collision forced the quarterback to throw the shoot route as his rush. Here's a clip that shows the benefit of the glance route with the Y Seattle concept. The defense is showing solo coverage pre-snap. This look would call for the X receiver to run a 3-step slant with the boundary corner playing man. Yet the defense is rotating to cover 3 strong post-snap. When the boundary corner bails, the 5-step glance is the priority. The boundary safety provides a visual cue to the quarterback that rotation is coming. The defense is bringing a boundary zone blitz away from rotation. The quarterback rhythms the stick route on the drop. It is important to train the tight ends or receivers running the stick to have an awareness of the post-snap movements by the inside linebackers. For example, the Mike linebacker is pushing toward the blitz side to become the curl flat replacer. The tight end should work over the top of the spot dropping dog linebacker and attack the void left by the Mike. The quarterback could have thrown the stick on rhythm here if that would have occurred. However, the pre-snap movement of the boundary safety revealed the uncapped space on the glance. The quarterback came off the stick before the end of the rhythm phase. This allowed him to work ahead of the progression and confirm uncapped space for the glance route. The glance is uncapped on the read phase. Here is another clip of Y Seattle scat. We like this in the middle of the field as well. Running 3-by-1 formations in the middle of the field increases the route space for the single side receiver. We now have a bigger glance window. The quarterback begins his progression by locating the boundary safety first to evaluate the route side space of the glance. Next, he locates the dog and the Mike linebacker to determine his best rhythm route to the stick side. He chooses the Y stick. The outside space of the stick is capped on the drop. However, if the quarterback throws it to the inside shoulder, it is potentially uncapped. This brings up a finer discussion on the cap, personnel, and probabilities. When the stick route is run by a dominant receiver that has a good feel for creating space, it is essentially always uncapped. The quarterback comes off the stick here after the first step of the drop because the personnel of the tight end is not as good as the X receiver. The key coaching point on the glance route by the X receiver is understanding the break angle at the top of the route. The boundary safety is capping the vertical space of the glance. The X receiver must snap the route flat to attack the uncapped horizontal space underneath. If they cap it, we snap it. Here is a clip of the Y Seattle scat in the tight zone. The quarterback will rhythm the stick side, read the slant, and rush the shoot. The X receiver is getting press man and therefore will run a slant instead of a glance. The X receiver will use a slam release against a press man defender. The slam release is used when the X receiver is equal or more dominant than the defender jamming him. This will allow him to create space on the slant break. We start the running back in pistol and then bump him weak just before the snap. This is to reduce pre-snap running back alignment tendencies on the play. The stem of the tight end on the stick route, along with the personnel matchup, dictates a cap look on the stick route. The quarterback must take a quick 3-step drop to fit all 3 routes into a progression. The slant route is uncapped here. The quarterback must keep his eyes on the route side space instead of the man who is running the route. The result is a touchdown. Next, let's talk about some of the defensive actions that will be used to delay and disrupt the quarterback decision-making on the Y-stick scat concept. One of the most popular weapons against a 3-by-1 formation are boundary corner blitzes that we call corner hammer. The key indicator that a corner hammer is coming is the pre-snap alignment and movement of the boundary safety. The boundary safety will move over and outside the hash, and the corner will begin to creep inside the X receiver. When the X receiver sees this alignment in action, he should yell hammer, hammer to the quarterback and the tailback. One adjustment that we have built in to counter a corner hammer is checking to ping on the backside. Ping stands for pick swing. The X receiver will attack the will linebacker and crack block him to set the pick. The tailback will swing to the sideline. The quarterback will abort the rhythm side Y stick concept and go directly to the rush side. If the corner doesn't peel with the swing, the quarterback will throw it to the running back. If the corner peels, then the quarterback will release on the run. This adjustment did not exist here on this play. The quarterback is maintaining his based rhythm progression. You can see how his eyes are on the rhythm side, making him blind to the blitz backside. As he resets backside for the glance, he is caught in the pressure and unprepared to throw hot. He at least knows now where the rush hot route is and prevents the sack. Regardless, you need a plan in place for the corner hammer blitz. Here is another defensive action that can create problems on the rhythm side of the Y Seattle concept. When the defense is playing cover 4 to the Seattle side, the quickie route by the number 2 receiver can be an easy completion against an outmatched dog linebacker. However, the quickie throw can become in danger when the defense plays 2 read, or what we call cover 8. In this coverage, the cornerback is reading the release of the number 2 receiver. If he breaks flat under 7 yards, the corner will trap the flat route and cap it. This is what happens here. The corner sees the flat break and closes to make a play on the ball. To protect against this disguised look, we now coach the outside receiver to take a shave release. If the corner is a reader, he will shave the inside shoulder in an attempt to collision him. We tell the receiver to get in the way, create a collision, and prevent the cornerback from capping the quickie. You have to coach the receiver and make sure he doesn't use his hands to block him, as you see here. This would invite a pass interference call. Regardless, this helps prevent a dangerous throw on the quickie. Another benefit of the Y Seattle scat concept is in its ability to be used out of a variety of different personnel and formational sets. Here we are running it out of a 21 personnel set. The tight end still runs the stick, and the fullback now runs an arrow route instead of a quickie. The quarterback will rhythm the stick side and reset to the read glance and rush the running back on the shoot. The tight end must make sure he feels what the inside linebacker is doing post-snap. If he blitzes inside or outside, he must replace that pressure by breaking into the space that he voided. He is the protector against interior pressure. The tight end turned out into cap space here, where if he turned the route inside, he would be uncapped. This is something that we now coach better in practice. The quarterback has come off the stick and reset to the backside X receiver. The receiver should be running a glance route against soft zone. He has already broken on the slant. We still complete this ball, however, we are allowing that inside buck linebacker to be in a dominant position to better cap slant space. If we pushed 2 more steps on the glance, we would have created more space for the throw and is out of the buck linebacker's range. Another common defensive alignment adjustment used is playing the boundary corner over and inside with his own hip angle. This is used to cap scat space by the X receiver. To counter this alignment, we use a different read route to attack uncapped space outside. We will tag or hand signal cowboy when this occurs. Cowboy is our code word for comeback. The quarterback will still rhythm side the stick concept. Next, he will read the comeback, then rush the shoot route. This tag adjustment is inserted into the read progression play call phase for the coach in the R4 grid. Here's an example of the cowboy tag adjustment. The boundary corner is over and inside with his own hip angle. He can now cap the glance route. However, the horizontal outside space is uncapped. The quarterback rhythms the stick route, then resets to the comeback. The comeback is uncapped. The quarterback throws it on the break point for the touchdown. Here's another example of the same play. The boundary corner is over and inside, but playing with a square hip angle. Another visual cue that makes the comeback space optimal is the cushion level of the corner at the rhythm phase. The quarterback sees the stick is capped on rhythm. The reason the comeback is still favorable here is that the corner has more than 4 yards of cushion. This means that he is in a dominant position to cap vertical space, not horizontal if the ball is thrown on the break. As the quarterback resets to the read comeback, we see the cornerback still has more than 4 yards of cushion and is in transition to turn his hips. This is an uncapped look on the comeback. The closure ability of the corner must be considered on these type of alignment actions. Here's another clip of why Seattle with the cowboy tag. You can see that the defense is set on capping the scat side. The boundary safety is over and inside the glance space. The boundary corner is also over and inside with his own hip angle. The stick route is uncapped on rhythm. Again, this is where the coach and the quarterback must discuss down and distance situations as well as personnel. If it is 3rd and 5, taking the stick might present a high probability of completion. In this particular clip, it was 3rd and long, so the quarterback chose the comeback as it was uncapped as well. The result is first down. The next attachment that can be used with Y's stick is the glance wheel combination. We call this Frisco. Frisco is our 2-man fade slant option concept. Any term that ends in O tells the running back to run a wheel from the backfield. This is beneficial when defenses are playing man coverage across the field or to the boundary side. The quarterback will rhythm the stick side, read the glance, and rush the wheel. The wheel can be used as a rush route because the running back is working from depth behind the line of scrimmage and therefore will not be hit as far downfield. This tag would also fit into the rush progression platform for the play caller. Here is an example of the Frisco tag. The defense is playing cover 1 with the boundary corner in an outside leverage position to defend the fade route space. The quarterback is rhythming the stick route on the drop. The personnel match up here is not into our favor. Therefore, he resets to the read glance route. The glance is uncapped on the reset, and the quarterback hits it for a first down. Here is another example of the Frisco tag. The base progression for the quarterback is to rhythm the stick side, read the glance, and rush the wheel. However, the defense is playing cover 0 here. This is blitz coverage. This should alert the quarterback that he will not have enough time for a full field progression with 5-man protection. In this situation, he should find the best matchup to the rush side and throw it on the last step of the drop. Cover 0 should alert the X receiver to run a quick 3-step slant versus man. The quarterback here rhythms the stick route against the defensive personnel advantage. As the quarterback resets to the slant space, however, the receiver is not there because he is running a glance. This miscommunication and understanding of the defense results in a costly sack in a playoff game. The final component to the Y-stick concept is in setting up explosive shot plays off the base rhythm progression. One weapon is created by tagging a double move vertical route that we call buzz. The buzz route will foot fire at 8 yards. We use this when the boundary cornerbacks begin to cap glance or comeback route space. Here's an example of the buzz route tag with Y-stick. The quarterback will rhythm the stick side, reset to the buzz route, and rush the shoot route in the flat. The quarterback rhythms the stick on the drop. Notice how he holds 7 defenders in place with his eyes. The X receiver is buzzing his feet as the quarterback resets to the read phase of the throw. The boundary corner is in a dominant position to cap the horizontal inside space. The quarterback throws the buzz route that is uncapped vertically. The ball must land under 30 yards downfield on a double move vertical route in the read phase of a standard punch 3-step drop. This is because the receiver must decelerate, then reaccelerate on the double move. The receiver must also hold the space away from the sideline to make the throw easier for the quarterback. The ball is overthrown and out of bounds. The result is missing out on a big explosive play in a playoff game. Another attachment tag that can be beneficial in the rush progression platform is a slant return route. We call this tag SCAR. SCAR stands for slant return. This is a good counter in the red zone when the defense is playing soft man coverage to cap the glance or slant route. We generally call this against blitz coverage and use the running back in a 6-man check release protection. The quarterback will rhythm the stick side, read the slant return, and rush the check down flat route. Here's an example of the Y-stick with SCAR tagged on the back side. The quarterback rhythms the stick and sees the mic push to cap it on the first step of his drop. He resets to the SCAR route and sees that the corner is over and inside with his own hip angle. This is an uncapped look on the slant return. The result is an easy boundary throw for a first down. The Y-stick should be a foundational concept in any offense, even if you do not use 11 personnel with the tight end. The concept is effective out of all personnel and formational groupings. Y-stick places immediate stretches on underneath coverage and forces defenders to come down to uncapped vertical space. The read, rush, and release progression platform adjustments provide answers to the most common defensive actions used to take away the rhythm progression. I would recommend this used as a base concept from the junior high level on up to the highest level in football. Many teams run this same concept. However, they pigeonhole the quarterback into a half-field read based on a 1-high or 2-high indicator. R4 builds the bridge for a quarterback and coach to navigate the stick with scat or other route adjustments. This places more stress on the defense and allows the offense to stay a step ahead in the post-snap decision-making world. In the next module, we will continue to reveal even more versatility and adaptability for the Y-stick concept. See you there.